Hi, everybody. Welcome to year number 3 on the
Woo!
podcast, right?
Right, that's
Oh, yay.
crazy.
I'm so excited that my guest today is my co-host from year 2, Miss Dixie. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No, it's been so long since we've talked virtually,
Yeah,
literally like just a few days ago,
I know,
actually,
right?
right? Well, to preemptively describe year 3, and I think you could probably share a little bit of this description too, possibly, just because we're piggybacking on each year for the soul goals. And basically, what the premise is for the platform is to address the things that are in our soul, our passions, our different things that we bring to our community, how to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, and how we get to that point. So, year number 1 was spent in hearing people's stories and really diving in and finding relatability, connectedness. And then that carried over into year number 2. And we had the lovely Dixie on as the co host. And she so lovingly went through week to week with me. And we did these really good but yet very challenging personal growth exercises each week.
Yeah,
They came back and reported on it because, you got to do the work. You got to get in there and sometimes you got to get gritty with it, right? And you got to get involved. Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, year number 2. So, year number 3, we're going to a mental capacity and expanding our box, maybe opening up the lid, hearing other people's perspectives on different subjects, giving, maybe challenging our belief system a little bit too, just sharing and opening up to the mental side of our souls, if you will. It's really basically in hearing how others are dealing with that subject matter and how it affect their lives, how it has affected their lives, how it kind of shows up for them on a daily basis. And the idea of all of this for year 3 is to give perspective, to give growth, to give an openness to, like, in a world of diversity, but that is, so let's be honest, somewhat divisive at this point because of all the different things that have been happening. And it's about learning from each other and being open-minded and non-judgmental and understanding that other people deal with issues maybe differently than we do, and that there's value in hearing their stories and how they've addressed it, how they've tackled it, where their thought process is, because I think that's really how we grow and how we learn. And sometimes it's hard to get out of our own way and listen to other people's information when it
Mhm.
really butts right up against what we think, and it may be completely opposite. But that's the goal for this year, is experiencing other people's perspective. And today's subject is parenthood. I love it. We're both parents.
Ooh,
Can't
yes,
wait. Can't
yes,
wait to
it's
talk to you
biggie.
about it. Well, so Dixie, tell me a little bit about your kids. They are 20, what, 25?
So, my oldest is 26
Oh,
and
great.
my youngest is 23. So my
Okay.
son is 26, daughter is 23, and,
Yes.
yeah, my son is in his last year he had a later start for
Mhm.
college. Took him a little while to figure out what he wanted to do, which was fine with me. Let's don't spend money if we don't know what we want to do.
Uh,
So he is,
so true.
right. So he has just begun his last year at Belmont in political science and economics, and he is getting ready to take the LSAT and the foreign service exam. Yeah, to be a diplomat. I was like, "What?" So he's getting ready to take both of those,
Okay.
and hopefully next fall we'll be headed to he already got accepted into graduate school at Georgetown, but he's looking at law schools, and so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's exciting.
Yes,
Yes, my oldest is in law school right now. She's just
I know.
starting
That's awesome.
number 4.
I
Woo.
love it. So,
Yeah.
my daughter, just moved out, and she graduated college with her degree in sociology, and, she's working her little tail off and living
Mhm.
on her own for the first time. So, proud of both of them,
Well,
insanely. So
yeah, absolutely. And you think about, like, how their paths have progressed and how you as a parent have progressed alongside them, because when you think back to when they were tiny, tiny little babies and
doesn't
you
it seem like yesterday?
oh, I know. It's so cliche, but it's so
I
true.
know, and I hate that it's cliche because it is so real.
Yeah.
I mean, the memory is so vivid of them as tiny humans. It's
Yeah.
just like it's like I could touch it. It's crazy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And sometimes don't you wish that you wanna really jump back in there and re-experience it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because yeah, and I'm sure we'll get to this later, but because we just rush right through it. And then
Mm.
I wish I could go back, not necessarily to change anything, but just to
Mhm.
sit in the moments,
Mm.
and
I think
enjoy.
that's a big piece. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sitting in the moment of parenthood is hard for us when we are in the weeds. Like, I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
It's so hard, so
Or
hard. And now I think,
when you're the one doing the parenting, it's your kid, like other people's kids, they could do the same thing my kids were doing, and I'm like, "What's the big deal?" But when mine are, I'm like, "You need to stop it,"
yeah, yes,
right? So,
yes. Which then just points to the fact that we are our own worst critic.
yeah.
We are hardest on ourselves. And therefore, we're probably more hard on our family and our family members too. But, also we're forming and growing and um, elevating human beings that came from us and came through
Right.
us, basically.
While we're
Um,
growing and changing all at the same time.
oh my God, thank you for saying that because
Yeah,
parenthood is nonstop. It's
right.
nonstop. And we don't stop growing as people
Right, and
as they're
changing.
growing.
Yeah, because
So
we have
think about,
our own life that's affecting us and changing us and stretching us too.
yeah, and then interrelating with them when we are dealing with our own stuff and they're dealing with their own stuff can just be like a combative, like a combustion chamber, basically. It has been for me in the past. I know that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's not fun when it's that, but yeah.
Well, tell me, we go back in time. Tell me some things that surprised you about becoming a parent in the early years, like things that you may not have been prepared for. Some of the stuff that you go look back and you go, oh, wow, how did I survive that? What the heck? Where did
Mhm.
that come from?
Well, something that I did not expect was that I would have a husband that would travel and be gone months at a time while we were starting our
Mhm.
family. Because when we
Yeah.
got married, he didn't have that job. Um, we both worked, lived in the same home, worked in the same town. Imagine that. And then when the day before I found out, no, the day, well, for context, my husband works overseas and he has for 26 years, 27
Mhm.
years. Um, and he's gone for months at a time. He's home
Mhm.
for weeks to a month at a time, whatever. His out time and home time have gotten closer to the same the longer
Yeah.
he's been there. But in the beginning, starting out entry level, he was gone for like 4 months, maybe home for maybe a month. And
Oh, wow.
we did that schedule for a really long time. And the day we had decided he was going to take this job, we had been married 3 years, and
Okay.
we agreed that he was going to take this job.
Mhm.
2 days prior to him leaving for the very first time, I found out I was pregnant with Mark Jones,
Oh my gosh.
with my oldest. And so I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to do this by myself. And
Yeah.
did the whole, like, he left. I looked like I look. He came back. I had a little baby bump. He left again, came back, and I was full blown. Like,
Oh, wow.
it's like, here we are. This baby's about to come out.
Wow.
And so, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up something really interesting. Like you did that pregnancy by yourself. Like you
Mhm.
did that pregnancy by yourself, not knowing that that was going to be the course that you were going to have to walk down. Thinking about
I've always had a really great support system around me though too, like friends and family. So I never
that's
felt
great.
alone. And I had a friend, my best friend, who would go. She did all the childbirth classes with me. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and he was home for the birth, obviously.
right.
But what
Right.
surprised me the most is I didn't think that I would be able to do it by myself when he was gone. I was like, "There's no way I can do this," and he ended up staying
Mhm.
home for a little while.
Mhm.
Um, because I was a little postpartum and didn't think I could do it. And
Yeah.
then, and we went through a really difficult time because obviously he's done this job on and off for 26 years. This is what he was kind of born to do.
Yeah.
And my fear that I couldn't do it by myself was the reason he was like, well, what am I going to do? Lose my family? I'm not going to lose my family. So he stayed home. And it
Mhm.
was like 5 months later, I, um, I told him I was really praying about it because we were kind of having a difficult time too. And
Right.
when you have your first kid, it's hard. It's just hard. Even when you're
Right.
not traveling around the world, it's hard. And so I
Mhm.
told him, I said, I think I made a mistake in asking you to quit your job because I'm just afraid I can't do this by myself.
Mm.
But if the opportunity presents itself, I think if you have the opportunity to go back, I think that you should, because you're happy doing that job. You're really good at it, and I'll be fine. And
Yeah.
so, like, a month or 2 later, they called him and said he called and he said, if there's a spot, and he went back and he's been doing it ever since, and the rest is history. And I found
Yeah.
out I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. And that was
So
the part.
that's the question. Like, that's the thing. Postpartum is a big deal. And you
Oh,
having
yeah.
your first child. And luckily you had a great support system, right? Like, that's really important.
And I feel like my postpartum journey was very mild in comparison to most,
Yeah.
but it was still, it was super emotional, but I didn't have near the struggles that some people have. So I don't want to minimize that at all. But mine was a lot really fear-based on, can I do this while he's gone? And, but I know people have much harder road than I do, because it is, like you said, it is a real deal, and it's messy and it looks different on everybody. And you just have to get through it.
It does. I think the base of so much of that, though, is what you explained is fear. I think the base of so many different things that present itself for us is fear, like fear of the unknown, fear of lack of control, fear of what's going to happen next. And as a new mom, and facing everything, knowing that your husband has this job that he's going to ultimately have to leave again, and you're here, even with a support system. I mean, it can be drowningly overwhelming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, if you were to snapshot back a memo to your former self, what would be a great piece of advice you would give yourself now in your 50s versus in your 30s when you were having children? What would you tell 30-something Dixie, 20-something Dixie?
I would tell her to slow down a bit, and it's really not all that deep. And don't stress over things that don't matter.
Yeah.
It's okay if, our shirt doesn't match our pants. It's okay if you forgot to bake cupcakes on their birthday at daycare. It's really okay. None of that matters. And most of the time they don't remember. They can't see in here. And all they're doing is knowing that they've got a parent, a mom and dad who loves them so much. So I would just say, slow down and let the house be dirty. Let it be messy. It's okay not to do the dishes right that second. Just get in the floor, play, just slow down. Yeah. Anything you can do to slow down the time, do it. That's what I would tell myself.
So even the days that were messy, you would slow those down?
Probably, yes. Yeah. There's something that happens when we take a minute, take a breath. And even in chaos, if we just stop and take a breath and kind of assess, most of the time, and it's kind of the mantra I've taken on, and I have to remind myself every time, this does not come natural for me, but it brings me a lot of peace, that anytime I feel like I'm like ramping up, I'm like, is this going to matter this day next week? Is this going to matter? Is this going to matter 2 weeks from now? Is it going to matter 6 months from now? Am I even going to remember this day a year from now? And if it's not that important, then it doesn't deserve my attention like that.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the things that my kids will tell you too, I wanted my house clean all the time. Like I was not very good at leaving like a mess.
Yeah. Same.
And I would stress out about it, and people would be coming over, and I'm like, my kids will tell you this house was spotless when people came over. I mean, it's just, that's how it is. And if it got to a certain point, I would just get, stopping everything, and we're cleaning this house.
Yeah. Same. I'm laughing because I'm in the same boat with you on that one. Yeah.
Yes, we should have a clean house. That's not what I'm saying. Don't live like a pig. But I'm just saying that if there's something that like you want to do, just don't put it off, because there's something else that you can do anytime,
That to-do list is nonstop.
Right. And you can probably do what's on that to-do list anytime. So if something comes up, just slow down. It's okay. It's
Yeah, you
okay
don't
not
get
to be perfect.
right, and you don't get those tiny little moments back.
Mm-mm.
And I think
Mm-mm.
it's hard, like, if I'm sitting here looking back at the 20-something, 30-something Dawn that was having kids, telling her that now, I guarantee you 20-something, 30-something-year-old Dawn in the middle of it would be, like, throwing up the middle fingers at 50-something
Oh,
Dawn right now.
for
Like
sure. And
like
there's a girl that I know, and I'm not going to mention her name, but um, when she was having children, I remember her saying out loud, um, don't tell me to enjoy the moment, and don't tell me that time goes by too fast, and don't tell me I'm going to look back and wish the time away, because I just
Mhm.
don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
You're not, I'm in the thick of it right now. And all
right.
I could think was, okay. Uh, however, doesn't mean it's not right. It's not correct
Right.
information that you're getting.
Right, and it's
The sooner that you
feelings.
can, yes, and the sooner that you can absorb it and take it,
Mhm.
um, I think, slowing down, and I think that, not being too proud to listen and take advice from people that have done it before, that would
Right.
be another snapshot, because we wanna do it all ourselves, and who in the world decided that we should be super women all the time? That's a lot of
Correct.
pressure.
Yeah.
And I saw
We
somebody that
decided
had
that.
this on,
We put that thing on us.
right, and but you know what? It's just as much a superwoman to sit there with your baby and be still and snuggle than it is
Mhm.
to feel like you gotta have them strapped on and doing everything and cooking dinner, you know?
Yeah, no, you are so correct. So
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
I know some, you know her too. She's a precious girl, and I'm so glad that I saw this on Instagram this week, or maybe it's been yesterday, thinking about us, and it's, uh, Steve's daughter, Emily, and
Yeah.
she had her new little newborn in a picture,
Yeah.
and she said, "There's a million things I could be doing, but I'm just gonna sit right here and do this," and I thought, "That's it. You get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that. Do more of that."
Do more of that because those are the things that will stick with your children and definitely stick with you. And you'll be
Yeah.
happy that you did. I
Yes.
feel
You
like
don't
I did near well, I don't feel like I did near enough of that. So on that side of the coin, where I'm at now, I have to let myself have some grace in the fact that I did the best that I could with where I was because I was knee deep, thigh deep, waist deep, chest deep, neck deep
right.
into a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of my own personal stuff. And I love what you said earlier. It's about when they're growing, like we're as parents, we're still people and we're
Yeah.
growing and changing too. So how do you fit the puzzle pieces together? And
Mhm.
sometimes it's not a great day. You know, sometimes it's just not a great day. And it's
Sometimes
okay
it's
to not
not a
have a
great
great
day.
day.
Right. That's true. Every
It's
day's not gonna be a winner,
mm-mm,
and that's
mm-mm,
okay, you know? And I think
mhm,
too about particularly, like, our generation, like, in the
mhm.
50s, because 'cause we're coming off, like, our grandmother's generation was like, My Three Sons. Remember those movies where those shows?
Yes, I
Um,
do. Sadly, I
where
do.
the mama's at home, mama's cooking, mama's
Mhm,
serving her man, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with
mhm,
that,
mhm, right?
but mom's doing everything
Yeah.
for everybody, and with such grace and, demure, I guess that's the word now, and they're all put together, like makeup, dress, all the things, and then
Yeah.
our parents, I feel like, we're trying to kinda break out of that a little bit, and my mom was a working mom, um,
Yes.
and
Same.
then and now here we are trying to balance. We kinda want the best of both, right?
Right.
And now
Right.
we've got people below us, like our kids having babies and our friends' kids having babies that I think are getting a little bit, they're getting a better balance too, maybe. They're taking it a step further,
Yeah.
um, and figuring out how to savor the time a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
I would agree with that. I think that's a really good piece right there. I think that's a nice evaluation of the generations as we've gone through them. I know
mhm,
for me specifically that fits really well. And I think about the balance of wanting to have both aspects. And I think there's an ability to do that, but I think you have to find your ability to do that. And I love what you said about allowing information from other people that have gone before you and not being so proud to think that you got to have it all together and you got to figure it all out on your own and that it's okay to ask for input. It's okay to ask for feedback. And it's okay to not agree with the feedback.
Oh, right, sure. Or
But
try it and
there's
it not work. I mean, that may
right,
be great for you, but that doesn't work for my babies, and so
right.
it's okay.
Right. But there's always a piece of understanding and feedback that we get from anybody, no matter if it's completely contradictory to the way we would parent. I know I have a family member that has two small little girls, and there was a family get together probably about a year and a half ago. And she made a comment to the girls and disciplining them that I would have never done to my children. When they were that age. And
Right.
it like I had to really stop myself and pull myself back, like almost emotionally from getting like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Right? Like, why are you doing it that way? And have to understand that because she does it differently, that's her way. That's what works for her because I did it differently. That was where I was, and I was doing the best that I could with where I was. So got to let myself off the hook again. I'm always working at trying to let myself off the hook, right?
Right, because,
Because
too, even in your own house, what works for one doesn't work for the other all the
right,
time.
right. And if I
Even
look now, like a year and a half later, at that same relationship with my family member with her two small children,
Mhm.
and how those two children have flourished and grown. And I mean, I am so thankful that I sat back, pulled myself back and went, okay, what's introspective of that? What's pushing the button for me, first of all, because it tells me a lot about me and what I'm doing and how I feel about myself. But
Mhm.
also, what can I learn from that in an effort to be a better person, to be a better mom, even with my kids being grown? And I mean, I see why she's doing it. And sometimes we don't see the forest for the trees,
Right, right,
that
yeah.
immediately that reaction that we have is like, "Brr." Or if someone, oh my gosh, someone says something to you as a parent about the way you're doing something with your children out in public that has zero idea of what happened in the car before you got in the store or what's going on in your marriage or that
Right,
you're dealing with postpartum or
right.
that you have a teenage son or daughter at home that is creating so much havoc for the whole entire household or that you just had a death of a family member that affected your children deeply. Like there's so many things we just don't fully know and aren't
Oh,
fully
for
aware
sure.
of.
Yeah, I totally subscribe to the, notion of if I don't know you, yeah, I'm not giving you advice because
Yeah.
who am I to think that?
Mhm.
There was one
Mhm.
girl, I ran into this lady in the grocery store one time. She had twins, little bitty twins. I guess I
Okay.
say little bitty. They were like 1 or 2. They were walking, so they were probably
Mhm.
2, almost 3. And she was in the frozen food section, and so was I. And they were so loud. They were so having so much fun. Like, oh, and they opened the door and can I get that? Can I? And so she put one in the buggy and or cart, depending on where you are in the world.
Right.
She
I
put
call it
one
buggy.
the basket, yeah, back in the buggy, and, the other one, they were just loud or whatever, and all I said to her was, I said, "Your babies are beautiful," and she just
Yeah.
looked at me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, they are driving me crazy today." I said, "I get that too, but they're beautiful."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and, the urge right there is to I don't know her at all, but the urge to right there is to go, "Just let them play, it's okay." But
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do not because I've had plenty of people say things to me when mine were little and maybe like, "What in the world?" Because you don't even know my kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
It's
kids weren't my
affirming
kids
them.
weren't crazy out in public, but still, you have times where
Mhm.
everybody has a meltdown,
Right. But what
you know?
you did for that woman was you let her know that you see her and you
Mhm.
gave her a positive, and she can then take that for whatever she needs to wherever she needs to fill that in her life. And if she's talking about her kids, that's fine. But I love what you just said. I like, who am I I don't want to go down that rabbit hole and tell her these things because I don't know her. But what I can do is give her a tidbit of a positive piece for, you know,
Mhm.
and maybe that helps her get through the rest of her day.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
those are cute babies. I can still see them in my face. They were so
Oh
cute in my
gosh.
mind,
Well,
my face.
oh. Well, let's talk about teenage years. Let's talk about, we love these little babies and the toddlers and the ones my favorite age, by the way, was 4. By the
Oh,
way, I think
really?
that
Oh.
they are independent and they're learning and they're so proud when they get something accomplished, but
Mhm.
yet they still want to hug you, still
And
want to love
cuddle
you and cuddle. Mhm. Best of both worlds. And then the teenage years happen with daughters.
Well, sons too. I'm telling you, they're no. And I want to tell people are like, I don't know if I can handle girls. Well, boys are no cakewalk either. So
Right. But is it true that you've
they
always
both
heard
have their unique challenges?
this is true. This is true. But let me ask you this, because I only have girls and you have one of each.
Mhm.
Is the challenge of having the boy earlier, the challenges like happen when they're younger and then it kind of coasts a little bit more as they age, and a little bit opposite with the girls? Or have
Mhm.
you found it to be all of it? Just
all of it. Boys are just as emotional and hormonal as girls, 100%.
okay. Yeah.
Just 100%.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. It's just the notion that boys are chill, are when it comes to, I think people say, oh, girls are so emotional, then because they go through all these things, like they start their period and they do all this and they get whatever. And that, but yeah, boys are going through just as many hormonal changes, and they're having to learn too how to control their emotions, their aggression, their all the things. So yeah, I think both are very uniquely, they're very unique, but they're not that different. And when it comes to how it plays out.
Okay.
And I think now some people may disagree, but in my house, that's how it was. But
Okay.
and I would always, teenage years, Mark Joseph, I guess he's okay if I say his name, my son.
You're like selling him out here.
Would but sometimes he would be like, well, I never got to do that, but she does. And so my big thing that I always told him, and I still tell him now, he's 26 years old, and I always say, I'm just going to tell you right now, your dad and I will never stop learning on you because you're the first one. We've never done this before. We've never done this. So we've been telling him this since he was little. Like, you're always going to be the one that we're learning on, and she will always benefit from the lesson. And that's not necessarily fair, but that's out of our control. We've never been a parent before, but we're going to make mistakes with you that we won't get to make with her because you're first. And so we're going to grow together. So
when did you first have that conversation with him? Because I love that. I think that's great. That's honesty, that's transparency. And it's something I think that your kid can go, I may not like that information, but it's given me kind of food for thought. And I can put that in my developing brain and process it on some level.
Yeah. He was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, maybe. He was little. But I think too, a lot of people say like, oh, my younger sibling, they had it so great. I had it so hard. Well, you didn't have it hard. They were just learning on you. And the younger guys can reap the benefit of that. And it's not that they're spoiled. It's not that they're the favorite. It's not that they're treated any differently. It's just that you learned on this one. And if you're just honest, hey, we're learning on you. We're always learning on you.
Right.
And so younger siblings are just going to reap the benefit of that. And it's probably not fair, but it's just life.
It's a great point. That's a very, very, it's a very foundational point too. And I've had that conversation. My husband and I say tongue in cheek. We laugh about that with our older one. Like, we haven't broken you yet. So.
Right. I've managed to hear all this stuff.
I mean, there are times when I thought we were breaking her in half, right?
No, you do. That's real. That's real. Where you think, oh my gosh, what do I do? What have I done? Or they're going through something that you don't know how to navigate either. And, and
what do I do? And what have I done? Let's talk about those two phrases for a second.
Right.
What do I do? And that is across the board. Like if we're talking little babies, we're talking toddlers, we're talking elementary, we're talking middle school, we're talking high school, we're talking college, we're talking adult children. What do I do? And then what have I done? Oh my God, what have I done? Because I know fundamentally when I say something that is probably not the right thing to say, it has taken me a very long time to get to a point where I can apologize to my kids.
That's what I was just going to say. I've heard people say, I don't care. I will not apologize to my children. I am their parent. I disagree 100,000%, because if they if you're going to be honest with them, we're not perfect. So if I can apologize to them and teach them what that looks like, to acknowledge that I've done something wrong, or it might not be wrong. What I did, the result that was intended came about, but maybe the way we got there wasn't the best way, then
Correct.
I can, or maybe I just blew it all together.
Yeah.
Being willing to say, I'm really sorry, I didn't handle that right. And and I feel like it's more valuable probably than most things, because
Mhm.
then they learn it's not weakness to apologize. It's not weakness to acknowledge or own something that you did wrong. But I
Mhm.
think a lot of problems now is people just don't want to own what they did. They want to blame or point the finger or say, "Oh, well, this is whatever, fill in the blank."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but if you're taught when you're young by the most influential person in your life at the moment, that's
Mhm.
okay to acknowledge when you make a mistake and apologize for it, and then we move on.
Mhm.
I think that's so valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives them a foundation of what's right and wrong for them. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It helps kind of create a guidepost inside of them to go, all right, this is, these are important things for me moving forward. And this is a big one. It's a
Mhm.
morality check, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've gone back and made decisions for my daughter that I wouldn't make for my son, and I've gone
Mhm.
back to him and said, "Hey, we're gonna make this decision, and I
Yeah.
realized that we didn't do that for you, and we probably should have, and I'm
Yeah.
really sorry." I had
Yeah.
that conversation with him, and it was a big deal. Like, I homeschooled my kids the whole time they grew up because my husband traveled, and it just fit our schedule better, and, we were in a tutorial type situation, and he really, really wanted to not do that anymore,
Yeah.
and I was adamant. I was like, "No, we are doing this. You are
Yeah.
doing this."
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other details that I won't go into, but, I was very adamant. You're gonna do this.
Mhm.
And, you know, later, my daughter also, for completely different reasons, she was very much into her sport and all of that, and so we just decided to let her not continue with the high school tutorial. We would just do it all at home,
Mhm.
and so she could focus her energy on the sport that she wanted to do in college and all the stuff.
Yeah.
And, so I had to go to him because I told my husband, I said, looking back, we should have let him make that decision. We should have honored that. Even
Yeah.
though he was only like 16 or 17, whatever, we
Yeah.
should have listened,
Yeah.
instead of, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. You just don't wanna go to school. You just don't wanna do whatever."
Yeah.
It wasn't the case at all, and there was a lot of things that I regret for that, but I can't live there. But I
Yeah.
did go to him and say, "We're gonna allow her to do this, and we wouldn't allow you to do it, and in retrospect, I should have let you. I should have
Mhm.
listened, um,
Mhm.
and I'm very sorry." And
Mhm.
he was so gracious. But
Well, you
to
were honest too.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
honest and you were transparent about it with him.
Yes, and I think as parents, for the most part, none of us are out to get or or hurt our kids. Like, we are all doing the very best we can with the
Yeah.
tools that we have at the time, and sometimes we get it right, and sometimes we get it wrong.
True that. True.
And then when you get it wrong, you just have to own it and say, "I'm sorry."
Yes. Yeah. And owning it is hard for us to swallow that pill. It's a pride pill for a lot of us. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. It's a pride pill. My youngest, actually my oldest fur child right now is screaming at me to go outside. So
I can't hear it at all.
well, that's good because I'm going to pause for a second and I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
No, that's true. Let the fur baby out.
And
I
that
love
just
it.
shows you.
It's
That
real
just
life
shows
around here.
that there is real life happening behind me. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Take 10
But
seconds and let the fur baby out rather than having to
right.
take 20 minutes and clean up the mess.
Clean up the mess that's gonna happen if I don't. Yeah. I wanna
Right.
talk to you about I love what you said about I can't live there. Things and decisions around our kids, the stuff
Mhm.
that we make, the decisions we make, and the stuff that we give to them in terms of information, sometimes, I mean, again, we're only doing the best that we can as parents in
Sure.
every given moment and point in time.
Mhm.
And if we don't do something to a point where it is, it's something that, you know, it's hard for us to swallow again, right? It's hard for us to live with. How do you let yourself off the hook? How do you not live there? How do you move through that? What have you done in the past when your kids have been, I'm going to say specifically teenagers and up and adult children, because I
Mhm.
think those are points in their lives where they can a little more understand the bigger picture as they're developing. And, also too, a therapist told me how old, and I'm going to get this wrong, I'm going to look it up. When our brains are fully developed, I mean, I think it's 27 or 28 years old until they're
Oh,
fully.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you know that for sure? What
Yeah.
what
Well,
age
I
it
think
is?
it's more, I thought it was 26 sticks out to me, but I think it may be 20. Boys are a little further up than girls.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
girls get there a little quicker, but than boys. Imagine
But how well, there you go. There's a difference. All right. How do you let yourself off the hook as a parent in those
Yeah,
situations?
I don't know. I don't have a formula. I don't, that's a tough one because I wrestled with, and I still just talking to you about making decisions for her that I wasn't willing to make for him at the time. I still get a little emotional, but
Mm,
I think the thing that, like today, looking back, I think that they both have landed where they're supposed to be.
right.
And if I look at situations in my life as not happening, I heard somebody say this, this is not my original thing, but if I look at things that happen instead of things are happening to me, but things are happening for me,
Mhm.
then it helps me because I know that all of that worked for my son's good in the life that he's pursuing. The
Yeah.
things that he had to learn in the process of being disappointed or showing up somewhere that he didn't want to be,
Yeah.
and um, and then having to make difficult decisions, like in his personal life at the time, like,
Mhm.
and the season that he went through, I would never want to go through that again.
Mhm.
It was probably the hardest thing we've ever walked through with him, and we talk about it sometimes, we don't anymore because I think we've all moved past it. He went through and I don't think he would be upset me talking about this, and I'll just bump and run on it, but he went through a season of a lot of, anxiety and depression,
Yeah.
and it lasted about 9 months. It felt like we've talked before, and I'm like, "Didn't that feel like it was, like, years?" I mean, it just felt like
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
a long time when you're in it, but
Yeah.
I look at him now and what got developed in him during a really dark time, and a disappointing season,
Mhm.
uh, and I see him now, and would he be who he is now without that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe. We'll never know because now we can't go back and control that.
Yeah.
But when I see that, and even in my own life, when I see things, where they are now, I think that everything just, if you allow it to work for your good, I think it does.
Oh,
And just not becoming bitter, not being unkind to myself about what I can't change.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I'm
That's
not
a big
perfect
piece.
at it. I still, there's still things that I'm like, "Man, I wish I would have done that different." But then I
Mhm.
look at them now and I'm like, "Do I?"
Yeah. Okay.
Because
So from a parenting standpoint, would have you done things differently?
with what I know now, I would probably say yes, because I would want to protect
Okay.
from hurt and disappointment.
Yeah.
But should I have done it differently? I don't know. These are things I'll never know.
Mm,
But
great point.
but if I'm
Yeah.
looking back at what we walked through, do I wanna do that ever again? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And if I
Yeah, you
could
don't wanna see
prevent
your
that,
child struggle like that. Yeah.
no. And
But
if
I
I
think
if
what
I
you
could prevent it, then absolutely I would.
right.
Um, but
But what I think you said though is so valuable about the fact of would he be the person he is now without that? Would we be in the same situation? We won't know that. We can't go back
right,
and change it and control
maybe.
it.
You know, I
Maybe he
don't know.
would, maybe he wouldn't.
Right.
So we can't live there. We can't
Mhm.
live there. A great Instagram reel popped up about living in some really great spaces in our heads. And this, it's the Tactic team. They're a nutrition team on Instagram. Love, love, love them. And she was talking about the hotels and the condos and the beachfront properties that she has built in her brain,
Mm-hmm.
the places she has lived in her brain,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we can't live there. And when we think about parenting and the mistakes that we've inevitably made and inevitably will continue to make while we are in these bodies as parents in this world,
Mm-hmm.
we have to let ourselves off the hook.
Oh, 100%. And then I look at him too, and I see that he's so driven and so compassionate for the person that he knows that has been through what he's been through.
Yeah.
And he's such a human advocate, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me so proud of him, you know?
Yeah. It's probably led him to being where he's at now, and the road, the path, and the career that he's headed towards, you know?
I'm just so freaking proud of him. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah, and
Well,
my
tell
daughter,
me,
they're just so different. All right, that's what you know too. You get 2 kids, same house, everything totally different.
totally different, totally
Yeah.
different. And I mean, I remember when I decided that, oh, I'm ready to have another child after having our oldest. She's 2.5, 3 years old. And I, with my husband, I was like, yo, like, think I kind of got the jam. I kind of got this figured out. Like, let's do this. All right. We get pregnant pretty quickly. And that baby came out, baby number 2. And it was a complete 180-degree different child, obviously, but in a way that I'm like, it just blew my mind. And it continues to blow my mind.
Yeah.
What is
Right.
going on? Talk to me about the transition from your children being at home to being an empty nest. And I'm going to say, let's go back a few years, because obviously your daughter is not living at home anymore, and your son has moved on. But the initial, it's just me and my husband and our dog and our house. And after all of this raising and all of this leading of these of this little army that we created here,
Right.
we're now out, fighting the good fight. Here I am.
Your husband, you're like, what? Who are you? What do we do? What do we do? Like, we do like each other. Look at there. Oh my God.
Right. Oh my gosh. You're like, I don't know. We're like, I'm in the thick of empty nesting right now. And let's just talk about how it's good. It's bittersweet. It's frustrating. It's like a lot of whoa moments, specifically personally for me, going, I didn't know that I felt so deeply about that. It's given me time to kind of dive into my stuff, which is good, which is great, but also that reconnection thing, right? We always want to learn about ourselves, right? Until we don't learn about ourselves.
First day I was by myself for like 5 hours in my house. I was like, wow, this is so weird. It's so quiet. And the dog was even looking at me like, what is happening right now?
Well, our dogs have gone back to our kids' rooms and opened the doors, like pushed their way into the room. I don't know how.
Us too. Yes. Because I will say that my house is a little different, because we went from my mom lived with us. So for the last 5 years, my mom has lived with us. My daughter's been in and out in college. She insane little college athlete. So she was gone all the time, and home, holidays, summers, that kind of thing. And my son has been in school. So he's lived here with us too. And so, and my husband travels, but whatever. So 5 of us, if everybody's home, there are 5 grown adults in the house.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I'm not one of these people that subscribes to, man, if you're 18, you're out the door. I don't do that. So, if you're in school or you need help, come home. That's fine. You can always come home. And anyway, so we had some health challenges with my mom. And so she's no longer in the house. And then my daughter moves out. My husband goes back to work. Like, that all happened within a week.
Oh, right. It did for you.
Yes. I went from I'm never alone to I'm alone all the time, like you did right now, just with you. I'm alone in the house. So,
Yeah.
what is that? But it's I don't know. It's a weird dynamic because this is what we've raised them to leave, right?
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
raised them to be independent. We've raised them to do their thing.
Mhm.
And so when they do their thing, we're insanely proud
Yeah.
and happy for them and like look at what they're doing. Like there's just something in you that is just wells up. And
Mhm.
then there are nights where you're like, it's just me for dinner. What am I going to do?
Right. Right. It's
Right?
bittersweet. There's a really interesting dynamic there. Like
Mhm.
totally, totally. I think that's a great point too. We've raised them for this. I
Mhm.
mean, you're raising your kids, you are elevating your children as best you can. And you want, I mean, I don't care who will say this. We always want better for our kids. We always
Mhm.
want more for our children than we had, whether
Mhm.
that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, materialistically, all the different things. We want our children because it's just such a pride thing for us to see them
Mhm.
excelling and really diving into being the person they're meant to be.
Yeah.
But then when you're faced with alone time after being so entrenched in this career for a long
Mhm.
and now the criteria for the career have shifted,
Yeah.
like that's an adjustment. That's a big
Oh, yeah.
deal.
You are no longer the GM. You are now just the consultant, right? You are on retainer for
Oh,
when you're needed.
that's amazing.
You only get a say when you're asked, you know?
You like you said it all right there. You are
Right.
no longer the general manager. You are now the consultant. You're on
Right.
retainer. Like I can't
Yes.
even explain it any more perfect than that. That's
Right?
great.
It's the truth, though. I mean, you're just, like, no longer it's like, "Oh, okay, I'm not needed today, so what am I" but also, I think the beautiful thing in it too, though, as gut-wrenching and whatever as it is, and it's both sides, like,
Yeah.
it's like you kinda feel like a crazy person because you miss them and you're sad because life is changing and moving.
Yeah.
We're all getting older and we're doing our thing, but then you're so happy for them. It just, it's like crying and laughing all at the same time. But then
Yes.
but then the beautiful thing of it is that now I get to decide what the rest of my life is going to look like. I get to decide the latter part of my life gets to be um what I choose. Like
Yeah.
what dreams do I have now? What
Right.
what things do I want to do? Who do I want to become now? Because
Mhm.
I get to do that, you know? I mean, not that you don't get to do that before, but,
It's just
now
different.
it's a new chapter.
Yeah.
And the thing
Your
with
time.
yeah,
The time. You now have time that you didn't have. I mean, and
right.
I'm not even talking about just the element of time on a clock. I'm talking about time in your headspace. Like your
Mhm.
headspace isn't taken over by these little people,
Right, right.
you know?
And going from GM to consultant is not gradual. You don't see it
No,
coming.
no.
It's like a jump scare in a movie. Like, suddenly you're like, "Oh my gosh, everything's different today. We just changed." They t the page turned, and nobody told me it was gonna turn today. That's how
Yeah.
it feels. It may not be really that, sudden, but it feels that way.
Oh, I would beg to differ. I
Yeah.
feel like it's pretty sudden.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know I do too, but somebody might say, "No, I just took it gra I'm so graceful." No, I you
If
know
you took it gracefully, I want you on the show because I need to learn from you and what you did.
right.
I am not
You know
kidding.
what? The truth of the matter is, though, when they come into your life, childbirth is not a pretty situation. When
Mm-mm.
they come
Right.
into your life, it's pretty dramatic and sudden.
Yeah.
And then when they exit to just start their own thing, it's pretty dramatic and sudden. So, or it feels
You
that
just said it. Yeah, that's true. What a great correlation there, Dixie.
way. Isn't that crazy?
It's
So,
true. It's so
it's true
true.
though,
Well,
yeah.
even with all of that, how has your relationship changed with your kids now that they're adult children? Let's
Mhm.
talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I love it. I love my grown kids. I love hanging out with them. When they have time, I love, having conversations. Becoming friends with your kids is just a different dynamic. I mean, you're always
mhm,
the parent, but you move from this pressure of forming them and molding them and guiding them. And, it's just every stage of it. In the beginning, you just feed them and change them and keep them safe. And then
Yes. Yeah.
you start teaching them things. And then it changes from, I'm not really teaching you a whole lot. I'm guiding.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm a consultant. So, but I love I love that relationship with them.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that my daughter and I, hang out and, our friends. I loved going to her apartment and seeing her little life right there. Like
Yes.
she's doing the thing. And then, having conversations with my son, and he is, I don't know. I really, really, really love my adult children and the relationship that I have with them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
also do have these memories and miss, those loud, playing in the yard, coming in dirty. Like I do miss all of that. But yeah, I really dig having adult kids. I think they're
Well,
pretty cool.
yeah. And I think that they probably would say, I mean, if we had to sit both of them down beside you on either side and say, what do you think of your relationship with your mom as an adult? They probably would say the same cool thing. I dig it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
That's the
That's the
goal.
dream,
Yeah,
right?
that's the goal. Right,
That's
that's the goal. Tell me if you know your children well enough, obviously here, what do you think they would say about you and your parenting style? Like in one word, what would Anna say about you and your parenting style? And what would Mark Joseph say about you and your parenting style? Like if you could give it, or a small phrase or a small word.
Gosh, that's a great question. And I've been, um, I think that they would say that I was consistent. I always did what I said I was going to do.
Okay.
And I think that they would say that I was patient, ironically enough. I don't feel, they've told me that before. We were talking one time about, how we view each other, like a gift, or like, are you an encourager, or what is your greatest, like, fruits of the spirit or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of them said patience. And I was like, I never thought of myself as a patient person, but it made me look back and I'm like, you know what? I am. Yeah, I guess I am pretty patient. I'm a
I
patient.
would call you a patient person,
And,
Dixie.
but I never did. You don't feel that. But so I think that's what they would say when I've always subscribed to, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to do something that I'm not capable of doing. So I'm not going to
Mm.
tell you that if you talk back to me one more time, I'm going to rip your face off. Well, I can't rip your face off. So,
Right.
and then if I do tell you I'm going to do something, then I better be ready to back it up. And I think that's like,
It's
um,
hard.
it's hard, but
Mhm.
when you do that, your kids learn that they can trust you. So maybe trustworthy would probably be a word, but
Okay.
they know that if mom says it, then it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We were
Consistent. Love
we
it.
were on a road trip one time. They were little and they were fighting over a toy in the back seat. And I said to them, if you guys keep fighting over that toy, it is going out the window. And then I thought to myself,
I'm gonna
I
have to do that.
I'm gonna have to throw that dang toy out the window because and then internally I was like, please stop fighting. Please stop fighting. I don't want to throw that toy out the window. And then they didn't. And I just reached back. I feel like you become like Stretch Armstrong when you're a mom in a car. And we were going down the interstate. I
Mm-mm,
grabbed that toy
mm-mm.
and I threw it out the window.
Oh,
And they were like, and I said, I told you guys, do you not know already that I mean what I say?
yeah.
Um, and I never said I was going to throw a toy out the window ever
Ever
again.
again?
But just, if you just being consistent and meaning what you say. And I think they would probably say that I was trustworthy, maybe patient.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to ask them that this week.
I think it'd be interesting. I think like I don't think you're far off on that because me knowing you as a person and watching you as a parent over the years, because that's how we met
Yeah,
is through our kids, interestingly,
I know.
and watching you, how you interact and how you navigate parenthood. Like from my perspective, I would say that. I would
Oh,
say that for sure. Yeah.
Cool. I love
Let me ask you, how do you hope your children will carry forward, like your parenting style into their parenting? What do you think and what do you hope for them as they progress into their next seasons of life, which ultimately will be in relationship, likely as not with someone, maybe not having children, but
it.
going down that road of moving to the next space as adult children? Like
Yeah.
what do you hope they carry?
I hope that they carry the ability to choose joy in whatever circumstance that they find themselves in, um, to choose to see the bright side,
Mhm.
even when there's always, even in the darkest time, there's always something
Yeah.
to be grateful for. And I feel like if they can always see some sort of good or something to be grateful for in any situation, that's what I would that's what I would
Mhm.
want for them.
I love that. I
Um,
love that. What's one of the best family traditions that you've created for your family and for your children, like that you would love to keep alive or that you're trying to keep alive?
um, I don't know if it's
Because
really a tradition, but we started this when they were little, and we still say it to this day.
okay,
When they were little and their dad was gone, I would get, because kids don't have a concept of time. So when
great.
we would get to about 2 or 3 weeks out from Mark coming home, I would get construction paper and make like a link, and every
Okay.
link was a day. And so every wake up, I'd say, okay, 21 wake ups before daddy's home. So day 20, when you wake up, you take a link off. And so as the link got shorter, they would know dad was closer to coming home. Like, and
Oh, Dixie.
we called them wake ups. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so the links went away, but we still call them wake ups. And so even to this day, I am grown. I am 55 years old. And I'm like, okay, 2 wake ups before you're coming to dinner.
Yes, I've seen you talk about, like, when you were getting ready to go visit your daughter when she was in school in
And
California,
yes,
like,
like 5 wake
3
ups.
more weeks. Yeah, 3 more weeks till I get to go see her. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I love our wake ups, but I'm trying to think like tradition. Like I
I think
I
that's a great
that's a
tradition.
yeah, it's a hard question because I know some people like have things, written in stone,
Yeah.
but we but yeah, celebrating the time, the wake ups that has stuck in our family.
Well,
I do
I
it
just
now. I'm like, okay, well, 7 wake ups before dad comes home, and we're all, he and I are, he's 60, so we still say
yeah,
wake.
but it's a standard. It's a thing that you created as a parent for your children, like, eons ago.
Yeah.
I love and it's very,
And they were
um
so little when we did those links. I don't even know if they would remember that, but they remember wake ups.
oh, oh, I think that's beautiful. I would definitely call that tradition, and I would
Yeah.
think that's something that, like, they can understand the roots of that, and that
Mhm.
yeah, I can see your kids taking that forward into their relationships if they decide to have children. I can totally
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Dixie, you're amazing, and you're an amazing parent, and I just wanna let you know that.
Oh,
You're doing a
thank
great job.
you. You're so sweet to say that. I'm definitely not none of us are perfect, and I've
Mhm,
screwed up my fair share, but
mhm.
but at the end of the day, I think my kids know that they're loved very deeply and they're celebrated, and we think they're, amazing, and um just like I mean, I think I just tell people I got the best kids in the world. I think every parent should feel that way.
You're not wrong. Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
look at yours and you're like, "Man, these are the best humans on the planet."
Yeah. We
And
should
so
all feel that for our kids. And I wager to bet on some level that we do, just depending upon our, the background that we're parenting from. I think that's a big piece of how we parent and how
Mhm,
we approach it and doing our own work. I want to go right back to the first things that you said earlier
mhm,
about we're growing at the same time as they're growing. It can't, like, that's such a huge piece for me that you said. So thank you for that. And understanding that we have to be willing to do our work alongside them growing, because if we are staunch in our stuff and unwavering in terms of learning about ourselves, challenging our perspectives and our belief systems, being open-minded to not only other people, but to our kids and what's
Mhm.
happening, like all of that. It's, it's imperative to us in our relationship with our kids. That's been my experience for sure.
Yeah. I've
And
said I've said before to them, and people laugh, and I'm like, it's funny, but it's true. I think it's important for us too, once they're adults and once we have kind of launched them into whatever, like college or adulthood or whatever, that,
Mhm.
you know, it's our time to kind of let loose of the reins and let go.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, okay, I know how y'all were raised because we did it.
Yeah.
And so I know you had good parents.
Yeah.
So now what you do with it is on you. No,
Yes.
it's not on me anymore. You get to decide. And
Yeah.
that alleviates my need to still feel like I have, that I can
That
let go of guilt, I can let go of pride, I can let go of all
Mhm.
of that and
Yeah.
just enjoy them, and now they're their own people, and
Yeah.
I did what I felt was best to do, and I did the very best for them that I could and was capable
Mhm.
of, and I love
Mhm.
them deeply, and I'm insanely proud of them, and so now what they do, that's them,
Yeah.
and I can celebrate with them, and, I can also be here when they get it wrong because we all know we've been on this planet long enough. We're gonna screw something up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care if you're 5 years old or if you're 25 years old or if you're 55 years old. Yeah.
right.
But I think what I hear you saying is that embracing the changes along the way and embracing the role shift of parenthood
Mhm.
as our kids age and as our kids progress and as they grow is super, super important. Yeah.
Yep, it's
And
not for the faint of heart
no,
or
amen,
your
sis.
mentality,
Right?
right?
You are not wrong about that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Woof. Well, I just adore you, and I'm so glad. Thank you for being my first guest of year number
Oh, yay, thanks
3.
for having me. I love talking about
Yeah.
kids. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, before I let you go, though, something that I did the first year that I loved. It was always a wrap up, depending upon sometimes the subject matter would get a little heavy, and
Yeah,
I think this is a pretty light subject matter, terms and pieces of it, obviously. But I
yeah,
want to finish up with some rapid fire questions, if you don't mind. Are you good with that?
yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Are you ready? These
I'm
are
ready.
fun. Okay.
Okay.
Rapid fire. Question number 1. Dixie, here we go. I feel like it's like family food.
I know.
Like, get ready. What is one food that you would never give up?
Oh, steak, 100%.
Oh, we just had a great steak the other night. Yeah.
A
Okay.
world without steak is just not a world I wanna live in.
Okay.
I
I
love
I
steak.
would agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Medium
Yeah.
rare, so good.
Ooh, that hits. Perfect. Yes. 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 Oh, my kids would be cringing right now if they heard me say that. I don't care how old they are. If I said, "Oh, that hits."
Oh, yeah. I said fire the other day. I was like, "That is fire," and Anna was like, "Mom, we don't say fire anymore."
Okay, sorry. Look, okay, so for you, parents with younger kids that like middle age kind of or middle school, high school, like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed about you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I don't think that changes until they probably have had children of their own, but
right.
we'll report back on that one day.
We will. Yeah.
All right, rapid fire question number 2. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Wow, that is a great question. I don't know, I feel like the theme song from Mission Impossible comes in my head all the time, that dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun. Yes, okay. You know what I think
That's
about when
weird.
I see
That's the song that came to mind.
well, if you think about Parenthood, it's like
Right?
it's like lots of different moving
I mean,
parts.
it's what we're talking about, yes, but
Yeah, yeah, for what we're talking about. But when I look at you, I think of the theme song from Friends. I'll be there for
oh, I
you.
love that. Oh, okay, I'll take that too. That's fun
Yes,
too.
that's what I'm stamping on you. Yeah. All right. Question number 3. When was the last time you laughed so hard that you cried?
Um, my gosh, it's you all the time when I'm with my girlfriends. We've been friends. I have a group of friends. We've been friends for 30. We figured it out the other day, 30 something years.
Wow.
And when we're together, like I could pee my pants. I laugh so hard. And so yes, I would say that that's probably it.
Great. And I would wager to bet with 30 years of friendship, these are women that have seen your children grow.
They have, yes.
Yeah.
They've
And then
been
right there with you in the trenches.
they were all there and I got married too. So,
Oh, I love
yes.
it. I love it. All right. Question number 4, singing in the shower. Yay or nay? Yay or nay?
Yay. Yay.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's situational for me.
Okay.
But when I did that I did a 75 hard a few years ago and you had to take cold showers. And
Mm,
so
mhm.
for like 5 minutes, I don't know how long it was, but I had a playlist that I would play specifically for the 5 minutes of the cold shower.
Great
And
idea.
um, yes, it was Jason Derulo, Justin Bieber, and there's one other song on there. So the songs together were just the amount of time I had to stay in the cold shower. And yes, dance and sing in the cold shower. So it's situational, yes. But
I
I do
totally
sing. I think I hum more than you know,
I think I probably hum. Yeah.
yeah. I do
Yeah.
sing a little bit in the shower, but
Okay.
as far as like full on loud, the whole house hears, no, I don't do that.
Not so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Fair. All right. Last question, and I'll let you go. What is one thing that you're most proud of this year so far?
This year I would probably personally be most proud of the fact that I'm taking steps to prioritize myself, which I haven't done in a long time.
Mhm.
Um, my health, taking some steps to further my career, things that I've just kind of put on the back burner, I am
Mhm.
bringing to the surface. And yeah, I'm super proud of that and to see where it goes. And I'm documenting
Yeah.
it too. So we'll see what happens with that. So,
Let's go. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
And
So,
I love that too, thinking about us as parents having to back burner different pieces of our world to be able to be there fully for our kids as much as we can be. So
mhm.
I would wager to bet now your kids are launched and they're in a places where you've like, okay, you're not the general manager. You haven't been the general manager for a few years,
It's been a
right?
while, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. But as the consultant, it's ranged probably in different various intensities, if you will.
Yeah, but it's
So
been in the last probably 6 months, that I have really started to realize the importance of, how my how our health will affect, aging and all of that,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
just making that a priority and getting myself in the best health that I'm capable of is, very much on the front right burner. Isn't that everybody's favorite, the front right? Is that your favorite burner on the stove?
Yeah, come to think of it.
Mhm. So,
I will think about that every time. Thank you, Dixie. Every time I cook on that right front burner, I'm going to think about this conversation about
right,
prioritizing myself.
right. Everybody's got a favorite burner, and I swear it's the right front.
My favorite, I'm writing it down. Look for a post on that one coming up in the next month. Yeah.
Right,
What's your
so
favorite
yeah.
burner? What's that represent for you? I love it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And choose joy. Let's choose joy.
Yes,
Let's try to see the
that's
bright side of things. When we're in the weeds, let's look for the 1%.
oh, I have another one too that
Okay.
I say a lot that I would like for my kids to keep with them, and that's do it afraid.
Mm,
No,
it's
whatever
great.
it is, just do it. Just
Yeah.
do it afraid. Do it
Yeah.
scared because 99% of the time it's gonna be fine.
Oh,
So,
amen, sister.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that is absolutely unequivocally the mic drop moment of the day.
Let's do it.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Let's do it afraid.
Oh, I love it. I love you, Dixie. Thank you so
I
much for
love
being part of my
you. This
day.
has been such a fun year, and thank you for having me on in a little bit different capacity. So this is fun.
Yeah, I adore it. I adore it. Thank you so much for all of your information, for being vulnerable, for being transparent, for giving us your background as a parent and what that meant to you, how you handled it, and like how you rose to the challenge at different points too. Because
Yeah,
parenting's not over. So yeah,
never
we can
does.
check
Never
back in another time.
That's right. That's right. But now I'm gonna have to
And
have steak for dinner because you got me thinking of steak.
well, I'm going to tell you that I'm doing food prep later this evening. So on my right front burner, when I'm cooking my rice, I'm going to be thinking about what I have to do good for myself tomorrow. So
There you
thank
go.
you. It's good.
Perfect. I love it. I love it.
All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being a guest today. And I want you to go out, like Dixie says, and do it afraid, right?
Yes.
and make
Story.
your story count. Make
Yep.
your story count, kids.